Hello everyone, my name is Santosh Kumar Durgam and you're watching the second session on Advanced Warehouse Management. So in this session you're going to learn about the purchase order put away process. So if you are somebody who watched my first one, so we talked about different warehouse layout and everything, and now we are talking about the purchase order put away. So why do we need to straightforward jump into the purchase process? So in my view and with my experience of training many individuals on different concepts, this is what I follow. When you're learning about certain configuration, the first thing you have to learn about is the particular process you have to know. So once you know the process, the underlying configuration that you need to do to make that process work is something that you can learn the next. And especially for advanced warehouse management, you will need to know the process a bit more, so that only then you'll be able to understand the configurations when they're being explained. So that is the reason we are jumping into the purchase order process here. Just be confident and be with me. You're going to learn about it. So as part of the purchase order put away process, this is what we are going to do now in the system. So we are going to create and confirm a purchase order, just like how you generally do a purchase order confirmation. That is what you're going to do. And then you receive the purchase order through the mobile device. So this is my intention. I want to get you the mobile device hands-on at the earliest, so that you'll be able to easily look at things and understand things. Okay, so we'll get into the mobile device emulator and then see how the warehouse workers will really receive the stock into the warehouse. Then we will do the put away of the stock into the location. Again, this is a term that is normally used. We also spoke about this in the previous session. So after the stock is received, we will put that on the floor. The warehouse workers will put that stock on the floor, and then once the truck leaves the premises, that is where the put away process will be done. So put away is something where the stock is taken from the receiving location and then kept at the respective location where it is supposed to be. So that is what we're going to look at. And then we also see the work that is created. Okay, so we'll review the work that is created. I'm sorry, I missed this step. So after the PO receipt is completed through the mobile device, what we do is we will review the created work. So work is something where a warehouse worker has to pick the items from a particular location and then put it at a different location. That is typically called as a work. So we will review that work that is created by the system and then complete the put away process. So that is the only difference. So let us now get started with this. So I'll now take you to the system. Yeah, you can see my D365 application now. Right, so what am I going to do now is I'm going to pick up a product that we have to use for this process. I just want you to follow me in this process also. I go to the product information management and I go to the released products. So this is where you see your products, as you very well know. So out of these products, I want to use this product called A0001. So I'm not going to create a new product and then explain you right away, because that gets too much for you right now. Because for you, with the available demo data, you should be able to understand different things, and only then it's easy for you to go and create the new things like locations or products or your location directives. All of them, you'll be able to create them eventually. Why am I picking up this A0001 item for this process? As we talked in the previous session, if you want to deal with the advanced warehouse management functionalities, you have to pick up the products that are connected to the storage dimension group that has the advanced warehouse management enabled. 1 minute. Yeah. So I go and check the storage dimension group. So this is what we looked at in the previous session. The dimension group name is where, and I have the used warehouse management process enabled. Okay, so because this is enabled, I'm using this particular product. Got it? Done. Okay, so we are picking up this product, and now let's go back and create the purchase order now. I go to procurement and sourcing, purchase orders. I create a new purchase order. Select the vendor US104. I recommend you to pick up this vendor because I know this vendor will definitely work for you. Otherwise, there is no specific reason why should you pick this vendor. You can also try by picking a different vendor also, so not a problem. I'm proceeding with the PO creation. Include my item that I want to use, and you see here at the PO level what I'm doing is I'm picking up the warehouse number 24. So even when you are learning or working, you have to pick up a warehouse that is enabled for your advanced warehouse management process, right? So that is the reason we picked up this. So you look at this warehouse number 24, you got your use warehouse management process enabled. Okay, so that is why we are picking up this warehouse. And I want to purchase a quantity of, let's say 10, and then save this. Go ahead and confirm this purchase order. So you're about to confirm the PO. Okay, this is something else. So as supply chain consultants, I'm pretty sure you know how do you confirm your purchase order. Okay, so just proceed with the OK, and then get this purchase order status as confirmed. Now, what we are going to do now is we will receive this purchase order as a warehouse worker using the mobile device. So this is where I want to introduce you to the warehouse mobile device emulator. So this emulator is given by Microsoft so that the consultants like you, me, and the other people, they'll be able to easily quickly look at the warehouse screen. So without they getting into the mobile and then doing it really. So we can, for our testing and training, all that purpose, we'll be able to use this mobile device emulator. So that is the idea. So whatever you see in the mobile device emulator, that's exactly is what you see even on your mobile device when you install the app. So that is something we will look at later. How the warehouse mobile device will look at, that is something we will look at later. So you log in with the user ID and the password. So I entered a user ID and password and then say login. So which user ID and password that you have to take is something I will teach you in the next video. Okay. Now, so if you get into some screen like this, just say okay and then get out of it. I'll say cancel. So this is your main menu that you will see. So once after you log into the warehouse mobile device, this is the main menu that you see, and you see different operations here. I'm going to explain a bit more about this mobile device in the next video. So until then, just follow me for this. So what I said is we'll process the purchase receiving, right? So you have this receiving has two steps. One is purchase receive and the other one is purchase put away, and you know the difference already. So I'm doing the purchase receive right now. So when I get into this purchase receive as a warehouse worker, when the vendor gets me the stock, so certainly I'll know what is the PO number. So I'll take that PO number. Right now I'm taking it from the system, but otherwise you generally have it on your shipment received from the vendor. So I'm entering that and then say okay. Then system will give me this option. So what is the item number? So item number is A0001. You can scan your barcode or else you can put up your item number. So both ways you can do that. So what is the quantity received? I think we gave 10 quantity. Yeah, we did. So I'm entering 10 quantities received, and what we received is, just say okay, and then system will give you the units, and then say okay. So we entered this information in the system and you see a message that says work is completed. So this is exactly how you receive the purchase order at the warehouse. You see, it's really flexible and easy, isn't it? So the warehouse worker goes through his mobile device, he scans and then records what is the item that is received. It's fantastic. Now go to your purchase order. This is where I just want you to observe a little bit. You go to your inventory transactions of your purchase order. I go and open up the transactions, and you see my purchase order status already shows as registered now. So you got your 10 pieces into the receiving location. The location name itself is receiving location, and this receiving location is nothing but your float that I've shown you in the image in the first video. Okay, so the stock is now lying on the receiving location. So what did we discuss previously? We said after the stock is received into the receiving location, you will take that from the receiving location and then put it in the storage locations, right? So how is that performed? And to know that is where I want to introduce you to something called warehouse work. So to the purchase order, you have a work connected to it now, because you performed the purchase receive in the warehouse device. System created a new work for you. Again, that is based on the configuration. System created a work for your warehouse operations. That is something you can open up from here. On the purchase order lines, I can go and open up my work details. So this will take me to the work. So if you notice this work, it talks about the work ID, and this work is for which warehouse? Warehouse number 24. And this work is of what type? So basically this work is for what? It is for purchase orders. And for which order number? That is for order number 177. And it also got you the target license plate. We will talk about it later once. So you have got this work created, and you notice this lines here. So each work is complete only, each work is valid only when you have a pick and put in the work. So pick determines from where exactly the stock needs to be picked up, and put determines where this stock has to be kept. So the warehouse worker is being directed to pick the product from certain location and then put it on a particular location. So that is how the operational efficiency is increased, because warehouse worker doesn't need to really think about a lot of things. He can just look at the instructions and then complete the work. That is the advantage. So we just looked at this work. This is just to give you an idea of how things work in the background. Now, as a warehouse worker, what I'll do is I go to the same menu. Now I'm doing the purchase put away. So I'm the warehouse worker now, and I see a lot of packages are left on the receiving area, and I've been advised by my warehouse manager to go and finish the work. Then what I'll do is, okay, I'll do the purchase put away. So there are two ways that you can complete this work. You can enter either a work ID or a license plate. So now that we know the work ID, even on the package that is kept on the receiving location, so the work ID can be generated on the package, or else, as we talked about, the license plate number also can be sticked on the package. So for now, I'm completing it by the work ID. I'm entering this work ID and then say okay. So system tells me pick it from this particular location. Okay. And then you see this target license plate, it says the number 314, and also you go back to your warehouse work. So that says the same target license plate ID 314. It is not different. So what happened here is, when you received the material from the vendor, let's assume that 10 pieces came in a carton, in a box. Okay, so the 10 pieces came in a box. On that particular box, we sticked a license plate ID. So we automatically generated a license plate ID. That license plate ID number is 314. So currently the system is configured in a way that the license plate is automatically generated. So we will be able to print even a label from the system. That is something eventually we will learn. So we will be able to print out a label on the label from the system that says the license plate number is 314, and then license plate number is 314, and the contents are these: item number 8001, and this is the quantity that is available. So like that, we can print a label directly from the device, and then we can stick it onto the box. So let us now assume that that box has that label saying that the license plate number X and the quantities that is lying on the receiving area. So when the warehouse worker wants to perform a work, certainly he knows the license plate number. That is exactly why we had this option. When you go back to cancel, this is where system is giving you the option to scan either the work ID or the license plate ID. So because of the reason on the box I'm seeing the license plate ID, I can even type the license plate ID. Let's take the same license plate ID and then say okay. So even now the system reads the information. It says the license plate ID has this item number 80001. That's good, right? So when you type the license plate ID, that box number, system knows you have item number 80001 in that box. And the target license plate ID is this, is what we have to take. Then say okay. And you see, this is where system is telling the warehouse worker, go and put it. Sorry, you look at this put operation here. It's talking about the put operation. So it is telling the warehouse worker, go and put it at the location number FL001. That is one of the locations that we have. And the license plate is this. So because you are carrying a box that is already having a license plate, you're going to put it on the location directly. Again, you're not going to put it on a another license plate. It's not a something like you're taking a small box and then putting it in a big box. So those scenarios are also possible, but in this case you're taking that box with the license plate number 314 and the same box is being kept in the FL001 location. Okay, so that is how we are completing the work. So you see the system, it says work is completed. So that is how the warehouse worker completes the work. Now you go back to your work in this screen and you see, so previously the status was open. Now I refresh this screen, then you see the work is closed, which means the warehouse worker picked it from the receiving location and then put it in the floor FL001 location. So he completed the work. Now if you go and check your inventory transactions for this item, I go to this item, item number, manage inventory and transactions. So when I go and look at the item transactions now, you see here, this is our work. Let's look at this. So where is my location? Location 24. No, this is not the one. So let us sort by the purchase order. Yeah, you see here, what is our purchase order number? Okay, so give me a minute. Okay, so sorry for the quick interruption there. I'm taking you back into the inventory transactions. I was just looking for our purchase order number. So because there were too many work transactions available, it was not easy to just look at the purchase order number. So what I'm doing here is you're seeing the data like this, right? So that's where it gets a little difficult to find out your purchase order number. So what you do is filter by your reference purchase order number. So if you see it, this is our purchase order number that we used, 177. This 177 purchase order number, you got your 10 quantity registered at the receiving location. So whatever was registered at the receiving location were eventually taken away by the warehouse worker. So the warehouse worker, he or she took the products from the location and then put them into the FL001 location. So that is exactly you'll be able to see using the recently created inventory transactions. So you see here, this is our warehouse work number 43. That is the one that we dealt with. And if you see that the stock is out from your 24 warehouse, you see the sold status. So from receiving warehouse, the stock is gone and then it is purchased into warehouse location number called 24. So these are called user locations. We will talk about them later, because what happens, just like your transfer order process, you have once the stock is out from a particular warehouse, they'll be available in the transit warehouse, right? So in the same concept, after the stock is out from the receiving location, they'll come into the 24 location, which is a user location, and from there they get sold, and then they come into the FL001 location. So like that, the purchase, receiving, and put away will happen in the system. So this is a simple purchase, receiving, and put away process. I hope you understood that. So thank you so much, and see you in the next one. Thank you.